Florida is the third most populous state in America, 300 days of sunshine a year, beaches on two coasts, no state income tax. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people move here chasing exactly what you just saw. Most of them check the weather before they sign the lease. Almost none of them checked what we are about to show you. Florida's sunshine is real. So are its problems. High crime rates, traffic costs residents over 100 hours a year, hurricanes that level neighborhoods, poverty rates that rival those of the worst cities in America. And the cost of living in some areas places it among the most expensive locations on the entire planet. None of that shows up in the listing photos. These are 10 Florida towns where the gap between the postcard and the reality. It is wide enough to change your mind. Counted down from manageable to critical. The house will look perfect. The pool will be exactly the right size, the street will photograph beautifully, and the crime rate, the school score, and the hurricane risk will be on a tab that most people never tap. Every place on this list has good photos. That is exactly why this list exists. Number 10 is Jacksonville, Florida's largest city by area and one of its most persistently underperforming. Jacksonville's crime rate is higher than that of 71% of all American cities. The violent crime rate stands at 6.87 per 1,000 people, nearly double the Florida state average. Property crime runs 54% above the state average. The public school system has drawn sustained criticism for low graduation rates and poor academic outcomes. Jacksonville looks like a major city. In several critical categories, it does not perform like one. Number 9 is West Palm Beach. The violent crime rate here gives residents a 1 in 137 chance of becoming a crime victim in any given year. The property crime rate is 1 in 32. Category 3, hurricanes with winds up to 111 miles per hour. Visit the area approximately once every 10 years. Sinkholes regularly emerge as subsurface water shifts and softens the earth beneath the streets. The cost of living is 8% above the national average. West Palm Beach is beautiful. It charges accordingly in every sense. Number 8 is Panama City. For several months a year, Panama City Beach is one of the most visited stretches of coastline in America. For the other months, it is one of the most economically exposed. When the tourists leave, so does the income. Winter unemployment rises above average. Poverty sits persistently high. The median household income is $45,961. And in 2018, Hurricane Michael was the first Category 5 hurricane to make U.S. landfall since 1992, made a direct impact here, devastating entire neighborhoods. Panama City is gorgeous for half the year. The other half is a reminder of what coastal living actually costs. Number 7 is Tampa. Tampa residents spend an average of 110 hours per year sitting in rush hour traffic. 110 hours, nearly 3 full working weeks. The average high temperature exceeds 80 degrees Fahrenheit for more than half the calendar year, and the humidity makes that feel significantly worse. Tampa is ranked among Florida's 4 most hurricane-prone cities, sitting directly in the Gulf of Mexico's strike zone from June through November. The cost of living runs 3.7% above the national average. Tampa offers a lot, it takes a lot back. 18,500 residents, a 1 in 18 chance of becoming a property crime victim, a 1 in 91 chance of becoming a victim of violent crime. That is not a statistic about a rough neighborhood. That is a statistic about an entire city, where the crime rate runs at 3 times the state average across both categories. Number 6 is Cocoa, a city on Florida's Space Coast with 95 crimes per square mile. Over double the state average, violent crime runs at 11.01 per 1,000 people, nearly 3 times the state average. Property crime, 55.43 per 1,000, also nearly 3 times. Citytistics gave Cocoa an F in crime and a C in livability. Residents have described beaches that have lost their charm, water quality that has declined, and a city slowly shedding the appeal it once had. Cocoa is not what it was. The data confirms what the residents already know. Stop. Before we get to the top 5, I want to say something directly. Florida is not a bad state to live in. Millions of people live there happily, safely, and affordably. This list is not an argument against Florida. It is an argument for doing the research that most people skip because the weather is good and the photos are beautiful, and the instinct to believe in the dream is stronger than the instinct to question it. The next 5 places are where that gap is most expensive. Number 5 is Tallahassee. With 55 crimes per 1,000 people, Tallahassee has one of the highest crime rates of any Florida city. The city averages 60 inches of rain per year, delivered not as manageable drizzle, but as sudden, violent downpours that flood streets within minutes. The regional airport has drawn some of the worst traveler reviews in the state. Too few flights, too expensive, and too small to serve a city of Tallahassee's profile. The cost of living runs 9.4% below the national average. For many residents, even that is not enough. Number 4 is Daytona Beach, home to the Daytona 500, the world's largest motorcycle rally, and a crime rate of 38.65 per 1,000 residents. Bike Week every March effectively takes over the entire city, generating substantial revenue and an equally substantial spike in congestion, noise, and crime. For the residents who actually live there, the annual calendar of major events is less a source of pride and more a recurring disruption to ordinary life. Daytona Beach works well as a destination. As a home, it requires a specific tolerance for being secondary to the tourists. Number 3 is Orlando. And the surprise is not the crime rate, though it sits at 43.66 crimes per 1,000 people. The surprise is the cost. Orlando's average cost of living ranks it in the top 4% of the most expensive cities in the world, 358th globally, 23rd in Florida alone. The median household income is $41,900. The median home price is $369,000. A 962 square foot apartment costs $1,933 a month. Orlando sells the dream better than almost any city in America. It also charges more for it than most of its residents can actually afford. It is the 358th most expensive city in the world out of 9,294. That is not where people expect Orlando to be, but the numbers have been consistent for years, and the residents who did not check before they moved. These are the ones now spending 40% of their income on a 900 square foot apartment 10 minutes from the happiest place on earth. Number 2 is Opa-locka, a small city just outside Miami and the second most violent city in the entire state of Florida. The annual crime rate sits at 71 crimes per 1,000 residents, with 30% of those being violent offenses. 50.9% of the population lives in poverty. The average household income is $34,797. And despite all of this, the cost of living is 8.5% above the national average. Opa-locka's population has declined 6.02% since the last census and continues to fall at 2.05% annually. The people who can leave are leaving. Number 1 is Florida City, the most violent city in Florida. One of the most violent cities in the entire United States. A crime rate of 80.02 per 1,000 residents, a safety rating of negative 3.66, an unemployment rate of 8.2% above the national average, and a median household income of $26,539 against a national median of $53,482. Florida City sits at the southern edge of Miami-Dade County. The Florida Keys begin just a few miles south. In one direction, one of the most celebrated stretches of coastal paradise in the world. In the other, a city where nearly 1 in 3 residents struggles with poverty. In a place the rest of the state largely forgot to look at. Florida is a state of extremes. The gap between its best marketed version and its least examined one. It is not just a matter of geography. It is a matter of what people choose to look at before they sign the paperwork. Florida is still worth moving to. 300 days of sunshine, no state income tax, an economy that keeps growing. The people who move there and thrive are the ones who researched further than the weather forecast. Every one of those places has residents who are happy there. Every one of them also has data that most people discover after the moving truck leaves. The beach is exactly as beautiful as the photos suggest. Florida just does not always tell you what is behind it. Now you know how to look.